So we have given you introduction to what is web services, and I shared with you people some examples of web services. It is important to understand what is the meaning of a web service. A web service is some sort of a service that is provided on the internet by some company. Some server will be there which will be serving this service to you, and you are required to request a URL by passing the parameters in the URL, and then the service will be served to you. I gave you some examples yesterday of web service. I said that a web service can be as simple as sending two numbers to the web service, and the service will send you back the addition of the two numbers. That is a very, very simple example. But I hope you understood what is the meaning of a web service through that example. A little more complicated example I shared with you people yesterday is that there can be a web service running on the internet. You need to pass to it the name of the company, and the web service will return you back what is the current share value of that company. Similarly, I thought of giving you a live example of a web service, a very, very useful web service. And this web service is provided by Google. This web service is provided by Google. And see how beautiful this web service is. I have already copied the URL. Now this is the URL. Okay, this is the URL. I just copy that URL. I will paste it in Notepad here for our reference. Just try to increase the font size here. Have a look at this. Now, yeah, look at this. Look at this URL. This URL here is a web service, and from here to here, what is the name of the URL? What is the name of the web service? It is called as the Translate web service. Translate.google API, googleapi.com/translate. All this from here to here is the URL, and then from the after the question mark, what is there are the parameters that you have to pass to the web service. Now look at what are the different types of parameters we are passing. We are passing the first parameter. We are saying that client is GTX. Now don't worry much about what is GTX and client and all that. Look at the second parameter here. The second parameter says S1. I write S1 is equals to EN. I write S1 is equals to EN. EN means English, and T1 is equals to HI. EN is English, HI is Hindi. And then I write one more parameter, which is an internally used parameter, dt is equals to t, something like that, right? And then finally, q is equals to, we write how, 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 or you can write your any English sentence here in q. What will this web service do is it will convert whatever you have sent in the q parameter, this will be converted from English to Hindi. Look at this API. 3 parameters in the API, 3 parameters in the web service. You can understand. You want to translate from English to Hindi, and what is a sentence that you want to translate? That you have to put it into the variable q. And all the other parameters which are there, client is equals to GTX, then dt is equals to t. This is internally used, so you need not worry about these two. But here it is important. So for example, if I want to convert from English to Hindi, I have to write S1 is equals to EN and T1 is equals to HI, and then I have to write my Q. So what I write here is how are you? Let us say I want to convert the English sentence, how are you, into Hindi. Okay, so what I do is I put my English sentence there, and then after that I copy this. I copy that, I go to the browser, and then I paste it there. Okay, I pasted. I just copied the URL from there and I pasted and I press on the enter button. The moment I press on the enter button, you can see down here that it downloaded a text file. Okay. Now this API will give you back the text file. It will return you back a text file, and the text file has come down here. So when I click on that text file and open it, just have a look at this. How are you in English? If I convert that to Hindi, this is how it will look like. See, if you can read Hindi, it says "Kya hal hai," which means how are you. Okay, so similarly, I can write any statement here in this queue. I can write, okay, where are you from? Where are you from? Okay, if I put a question mark, where are you from? That is what I put. And then I want to convert this where are you from English sentence into Hindi. So I press on enter. So one more text file will get downloaded here. You can see it got downloaded. So when I click on that, so it displays me aap kahan se hain. So see how beautiful this web service is. I have to pass to it an English sentence and then mention to it from which language to which language you want to convert this. And then it will give me back the translated sentence. It will give me back the translated sentence. I can translate from English to Hindi. I can translate from English to Kannada, Marathi. I can translate it to any language. Google, if it provides me web service to translate it to Hindi, Marathi and Kannada, I can even do that. But all the international languages like Japanese, Chinese, then Russian language, then French language, all the languages are available. So from English to all these languages, you can convert. So how beautiful this web service is. If you go to some country and you are not able to speak their language, then I think we can just type there and then you will come to know what is the sentence and you can read it out. And one more thing here, if you see, if I press enter, then if I download this once again, if you see, this is written in Hindi only because I'm converting it from English to Hindi. This is written in Hindi only. If you feel that if I convert it to Chinese, this will come in Chinese. There is one more parameter that you need to add to this. There is one more parameter you have to add to this web service where the words will not be written in Hindi script or Marathi script or Kannada script or Chinese script. It will be written in English script only. Okay, so there is one parameter here that you have to pass. It will give you back the translation in that language and it will be written in English only so that you can read it out easily because you know to read English. Is it not? So this is only to show you one example. This is only to show you one example of a web service live. Okay. So now that you have understood the meaning of a web service, what all it can do, and how useful it is, there are such numerous APIs available, web services available on the internet which you can use. And remember one thing, that whenever a web service will send you back data, for example, here, if I open this file, okay, if I open this file, if you look at this format, you see here that the format is a little typical. There are square brackets. There are square brackets here, and inside the square brackets there is this Hindi script, and then after that there is this English script, and then there is null. So many things are there. This is the typical format. This is the typical format how the service is returning you back the value. Do you know what is this format? If you look at this format is called as the JSON format. It is called as the JSON format. JSON or JSON is the JSON format. Okay. Yesterday we discussed about XML format. In XML format, what is there? There are tags. In XML format, there are tags. User-defined tags. Yesterday we saw an example. I will go back to that now again. But I want to introduce you to two formats today. Whenever you request any web service, the web service will return you back some data. And the best way to return the data is to send the data in one of these two formats. Either it has to be sent in XML format or it has to be sent in JSON format. When the data comes back from the web service in the text file, or directly it will come back to you, like how you saw that I requested this file here. Okay, I requested this translation, and then what it gave back to me, it gave me back the text file. Inside that, the data was in the form of JSON. Web services will return you back. Data in the form of JSON or in the form of XML. These are the two formats, two very commonly used formats. So that's why we say XML is the best suited for exchanging document style data. So if you want to exchange data, then then there is one more way of exchanging data, that is called a JSON. And what is the full form of JSON? JavaScript Object Notation. The full form of JSON is JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation is the full form of JSON. So now that you know that when you request a web service, by passing parameters in the URL. What are the parameters which we pass for translate? English EN, HI Hindi, and then we passed the English script, English sentence that we wanted to convert to Hindi. So we pass these parameters, and immediately online the web service will send us back the translation from English to Hindi. And the format that comes back, the data that comes back, it will always be written in a typical format, and that format either is XML or it is JSON. It is either XML or JSON. So we will look at both the formats. We are going to look at both the formats. Now, let us first understand what is XML first, and then later let us see what is JSON. JSON format I have already shown you. It comes in square brackets, and then it will come in flower brackets and all that. That is JSON format. XML format contains tags like this. For example, if I want to send some person's information from the web service, then I put it into the person tag. In the person tag, I put the name tag. In the name tag, I put the phone number tag. In the phone, inside that, in the person again, I put email tag, and then finally I close the person tag. So from here to here, all the way from here to here, person to slash person. Inside this, what is there is the information of the person. So let us say if I want to also send the date of birth of the person, then I will add one more tag after this. Date of birth, and inside that I will write the date of birth of the person. So it is completely user dependent how many tags you want, what are the different types of data that you want to share of the person. For example, you also want to write down the age of the person in the XML format. So you can introduce one more tag here called as age, and then you can put the person's age in that tag, and then you can send it to the client from the server. So please remember that these tags are completely user-defined tags. User can define it. It is up to the user to define these tags. Whereas in HTML, what happened? In HTML, they were predefined tags. You cannot define any tags in HTML. There is already a tag present called as P tag. There is already a tag present there called as H1 tag. There is already a tag present there called as the H2 tag, and so on. A tag, image tag. It is there already. You cannot change that. As a user, you cannot change that. They are predefined, and they are fixed set of tags. Fixed set. Nobody can add and nobody can remove. Fixed set in HTML. But in XML, you can add your own tags. Okay. So XML, we add tags because we want to exchange data from one computer to another computer, and this is the best way of exchanging data. When data comes in XML format, it is easy to parse through it. What is the advantage of passing the data in XML format? It is easy to parse in the sense like if I have to send this information to the client, and I want the client to go through the XML document, and I want the client to extract the name part of the person, or extract only the phone number part of the person, or extract only the email part of the person. With XML, it is very, very easy. If you pass the data in the form of XML, parsing through the file, extracting or accessing or removing exactly that part of the data is very, very easy. That is the reason why XML and JSON is so famous. Because parsing an XML file is extremely easy. Let us see how to parse this XML file. I have this XML file here called as person. It has got a tag inside it called as name, one more tag called as phone number, one more tag called as email. I want to parse through this. And in Python, how to do this? Let us see that. So more or less, if you see the tree is like this, the XML file's tree is like this. There is a tag called as person, then there is a name tag, then there is a phone number, then there is email. Phone number has got this data, name has got this data. So let us see now parsing XML. Let us see how to parse XML. In Python, if you want to parse XML, you have a library called as xml.etree.elementtree. This is xml.etree.elementtree. This is the library that you have to import in your Python file. If you import this library in your Python file, it makes it all the more easy. It makes it very, very easy to parse the XML file. To parse the XML file in Python, there is a special library available called as xml.etree.elementtree. And then you will be able to parse the XML document using this. Okay, now let us see how to parse it. First of all, we need to import xml.etree.elementary as et. Now, this as keyword here, this as is a keyword. What does this as do? Is it will have a short form for this. Now, wherever I need to, let us say, elementary tree has got a built-in function, and I want to use that in my program. I don't have to write xml.etree.elementary dot that function name. I can directly write et dot that function name. So et is a alias. It is an alias for this big name here. So I'm importing this entire library, and the name, short form name I'm giving to it in my program is et. So from here to here, I'm just converting it to et. So wherever inside my program I need to refer to this, I simply write et dot the name of the function. So that's why we use this as keyword. We give it an alias. We give it a short name to it. So we import xml.etree.elementary, and then after that we have the data. So we declare a variable called as data. We declare a variable called as data, and inside this data in double quotes, I write the entire XML file. Which XML file I will write? This XML file I will write. Person. This entire thing I will write it into that XML file. So you can see data is equals to double quote, person name is equals to chat, phone number, email / person, and then again double quotes here. So I am typing the entire XML document. I'm typing the entire XML document as a string. I'm putting it as a string into the variable data. This entire XML file, entire XML as string. Remember, I'm putting it as string because I'm putting it into double quotes, and that I'm putting it into data. The variable data will contain this. And remember, data is a simple string variable in which you have kept the XML file. Now, then you define an object of XML. You define an object of XML. So you have an object name, tree is the name of the object that you have given. It can be anything here, but you have given it as tree is equals to et dot from string data. So this from string is a built-in function of the library. So you write et dot from string into bracket data. What is data? Data is this entire XML file. So you construct a tree. By doing et dot from string data. From string is a built-in function which is present in xml.etree.elementary. Okay, so you are using that library. Built-in function of that library is from string, and then putting the data, and then the data comes into tree. Now you have constructed the object. Now what is tree? Tree, remember, is not a simple variable. It is not a simple string variable. It is an object now. It is an object in which you have loaded the XML data. Tree is an XML object. Tree is an XML object in which you have loaded the XML data. Okay, so to load the data from the variable data, string variable data into the tree, you simply write et dot from string data. Now that the tree is constructed, now you can extract the data from this tree. Whatever data you want to extract from the tree, you can extract it. If you want to access the email ID, you can access it. If you want to access the name, you can access the name. Whatever you want, you can access it. Okay. Now, instead of doing all this, I will do one thing. I will just copy the program, go to, yes, so I will type my program completely. XML example.py is the name I've given to the file. Okay, now look at this. So what we have done, we have imported xml.e3.elementary as et, and then data. What is data? Data is this entire file. Okay, you need not write it in next line or that. You can write it in one line like this. There is a tree called as person. Inside that you have name, phone number, email ID. Okay, so you saw that, and then I constructed my object. Then I printed. I want to print the data now. I want to extract. I want to extract the data. Let us go simple by simple. Okay, I'll remove this. I want to print only. I want to access the name part of the tree. I want to access the name part of the tree. So when I want to access the name part of the tree, I will just dot text here. Yeah. Now look at this. So now, first of all, I imported the library. Then after that, I have my data in which I have an XML document here. Okay. So there is a little problem here. So what I have here is I have my data here in which I have put my XML file. Then I constructed my object by loading into it the data. Data is nothing but this entire XML file. And then I want to display the name. I want to display the name. I want to extract only the name. What is the name? Name is Chuck, C-H-U-C-K. I want to display only that. So I say print tree dot find name. Find a tag called as name in the tree. In the tree, find the node or the tag called as name dot text extract the text part of name from tree, find the name, and from that name get the text. Dot text will give you what is the text between the name tag. What is the text between the name tag? It will give you, hopefully. Okay, so file, I'll save this. I will go to the command prompt, and then I will execute this program. Yeah, Python XML example.py, enter. So there is some problem it is showing here. Yeah, because what is happening is my double quotes is starting here in data, and then again after going again there is double quotes here. So from where is the string starting, where it is ending, we don't know. So put a single quotes there, instead of double quotes, put a single quote there, and now my entire XML document is ready. Okay, the problem was that double quotes was coming in between double quotes, so there was a confusion. So I'll save the file, save. Clear the screen. Now we will execute the program once again. And then you can see the output as Chuck, C-H-U-C-K. So what it displayed to you? It displayed you the text which is between the name tag. It displayed you the text between the name tag. Similarly, if you want to display the phone number, okay, phone number is here. What is between the phone number? +1734. If you want to display this phone number, you have to simply do in tree, find the tag whose name is phone dot text. So it will give you the text which is between the phone tag and the slash phone. So whatever text is in between that, it will give you that. File, save. Now let us execute this program. So see, you can see that it displayed you the phone number. It displayed you the phone number between the phone tag. So now you understood exactly. If data is in the form of XML, how to extract the data exactly from those tags. We have to use a library called as xml.e3.elementary. Then use some functions. Tree.findPhone.text will give you the text between the tags. Most of the times, actually, it is the .text property only which we have to use. Okay, but apart from this, there are other functions. See, for example, here tree.findEmail and then .getHide. Okay, if you want to extract the attribute, copy. I copied that and I pasted it here. Okay, there is a question being asked. Let me see what is that. Okay, now Akshata is asking a question. Why is that? Yeah, Akshata is asking a question. Why is that here in phone we have type is equals to int? Why have we written this type is equals to int in this XML here? Is it because the data here is integer? No, 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 no. Let me tell you, XML document is completely user defined. Even if I remove this, even if I remove this, even if I remove that, phone is equals to the phone number I write here, email is equals to, then here also there is height is equals to yes. Even if I remove this, remember, even if I remove this, or even if I remove this email only entirely, it is not going to make any difference to the file. Remember that it is not going to make any difference to the file. Why did we write integer here? Why did we write integer is because maybe there is a requirement of such thing in the XML document. Finally, the data that I am going to transfer from one place to other place, that data is completely dependent upon me. I can construct my XML file as I want. In this example here, okay, in this textbook here, here you can see that they have constructed the XML file like this. They have constructed the XML file like this, where they have a tag called as name, phone. In the phone, they have an attribute called as type. They have an attribute called as type for their purpose. For their purpose, maybe they need it. That's what they have put it. And then here you see that email is there, and then you've written height is equals to yes, and then there is no email also here specified. There is no email also specified here. You can see email is there, slash email tag is not there because they have hidden it. So these are some specific things which are required for maybe the user, whoever has constructed this XML file. If you ask me to construct an XML file, my XML file will be very simple. Person name will be there, phone will be there, all these attributes, all this will not be there only. Will not be there only. Okay, and it completely depends upon the application, whoever is constructing this. It is not compulsory that you should have this here because the data here is integer. No, no, not at all. So that's why I told you I removed this from phone. From phone I removed that type is equals to int here, and then I removed email only completely. I will save this now. While I save it, see, now it should display me the phone number, the text of the phone number. So I come back here. If I execute this, I again see that there is absolutely no problem. It displayed me the text in the phone number. It displayed me the text in the phone number here. Absolutely no problem. Okay. So in the example here, they have given me a format which should contain a person/person, and then email should contain this. Yeah, email should contain an attribute called as hide, and the value of the hide should be s. You know, this is to explain to you people how you can construct an XML file. XML file can be simple by having tags, value, tag, value, tag, value, and if required, then you can even have attributes in the tags. You can even have. It is based on the application. If right now I feel no, Baba, I require this attribute here for some reason I require, so I add that. And why the attribute has to be added there, maybe you people will not understand it right now. You may not understand why sometimes attributes are required, why sometimes it is not required. You may not understand it right now. But remember that depending upon the application, sometimes you will require attributes to the tags, sometimes you may not require attributes to the tags. This completely depends upon the application that you are writing. What type of application, what type of program you are writing, what type of software you are writing, it completely depends upon that. But it is not compulsory. You can construct your own XML document. But only thing is that when you construct your own XML document, it should be properly formatted. Properly formatted means what? See, name, person is starting. In person, you have name. Then where you should end the name, you should end it after check only, here only. If I remove this from here, if I put it somewhere there in the end, let us say, I remove name, in name check I've written, then phone again I've started here and I've closed where name last here. No, it should be properly structured. It should be properly structured. Remember, if you start name, data should come, it should end the name. Phone should start, number should be there, or some data should be there, that tag should end. And then finally, if everything is over, then you should close the person tag. You should close the person tag. You should close the person tag. If you don't close the person tag, then it will give an error. I don't know. I'll just remove this person. I will save this. Okay. Now what I did is I removed the person tag /person in the end. I removed it. Okay, I saved it, file, save. Now I will go to execute my program and see what will happen. See, it gave me an error. It is saying that XML tree element parts, no element found, line 1. You know, it says there is a parsing error. It says it is a parsing error because I have started a person, but I have not ended parsing here. But I did not end person here. Person has started, but I did not end person here. I have to format it properly. The structure of the XML document should be correct. The structure of the XML document should be correct. Only then your XML document will be processed by this library. If you don't format and structure it properly, if you don't close the tags properly, if you don't nest it properly, one inside the other properly, then it will give an error. This is what you have to take care. All the other things is fine. If you don't require attributes, fine, no problem. It is up to you. You are constructing your XML document. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Now that we have understood how to do this, if let us say phone has got an attribute called as type is equals to, let us say I write int. Okay, before it was intl. I write only int because I want only int for my application. I need only int. So let us say that I have a tag called as phone, and in phone I have an attribute called as type, and the value that I'm assigning to the attribute is int. Okay, and I want to retrieve that. So okay. I know that the phone tag has got an attribute called as type. I know that the phone tag has got an attribute called as type. And if I want to retrieve the value of that attribute, I have to use this particular thing. I have to write tree.findPhone.getType. So it will give me the value. That is assigned to this attribute type. Type is an attribute. Int is the value that is assigned to it. If I say tree.findPhone.getType, it will give me the value that is assigned to it. So it should print me int. File, save. I saved it. I come here. I will clear the screen first, and then I will execute this. So you can see that first on the first line it displayed me the phone number because I am displaying phone number, phone.text. And next it is displaying me int. Why it is displaying me int? Because I am telling it to print from the phone tag type value, get type. So now you have learned how to extract the value which is between the tag. You can extract that by using the .text function, and by using the .get into bracket type, the name of the attribute. If you put, you get the value assigned to that attribute. So you have learned these two things, and it is sufficient. So your XML parsing using Python is over. Parsing XML using Python is over. How to extract the data you have learned. Now sometimes what happens is, I will have one more XML document here. Okay, I will take this person. I will construct a very, very simple let us say I don't want this also. I don't want that. And the phone number, let us say I write it. Yeah, Akshata is asking a question. Sir, can we print both name and phone at a time using the print statement? Of course you can print. both. Now she's asking whether we can print both the name and the phone number. Of course, you can print that. Or we can see here. You can see here. Like this, you can print it. Print tree.find name.text, print tree.find phone.text. So it will display you both. It will display you Chuck also because that is the name, and this is the phone number here. Phone number I will change. I will write it something like this. Okay. So I save the name and phone. File save. So if I come to the command prompt here, execute. So you can see that it displayed me the name first because tree.find.name.text, and then it displayed me the phone number. So whatever you want to access, whatever you want to print, you can access it like that and print it. So I displayed name also, that is Chuck, and the phone number also. Now what I'm showing you is one more document here. What I'm showing you here is one more document. See, the main tree is persons, P-E-R-S-O-N-S, and persons close. And in this persons, I have the first person, the second person, third person. The name of the first person is Chuck. Second, let us say, is James. And here I write something like as Jack. Chuck, James, and Jack are the names. So I can have an XML document. I can have an XML document which contains the details of many persons. So my main tree is persons. Inside that person, inside that one more person, inside that one more person, and finally persons end. So I have details of 3 persons in my document. The time is about to get over. Last 1 minute remaining. So I think with this example, I will stop here today. I will continue again tomorrow, and I will show you how to parse this XML document. Then after that, I will show you how to parse JSON tomorrow only, so that